VenderForce.com.
Hi friends. As part of my ongoing series on some of the world's best intelligence agencies, today we are going to talk about an incident which happened in 1951 when Mossad agents were caught in Baghdad and what happened subsequently. In those days, Iraq along with other Arab countries were extremely unsafe for Jews owing to Arab-Israeli conflict over Palestine. Assad was a Palestinian who had emigrated to Iraq and was living in Baghdad after Israel had captured his hometown of Acre in Palestine. Just before he had come to Baghdad, he had worked for a week as a waiter in a cafe which was located near an Israeli military compound. This led Assad to serve coffee to many of the Israeli military officers, some of whose faces Assad could remember long after he had left Palestine. One of those unfortunate officers was Yehuda Tagger, posing as Ismail Salhan from Iran with a fake Iranian passport. Assad informed the Iraqi authorities that he had seen an Israeli military officer in Baghdad. The Baghdad police immediately captured the Mossad spy Yehuda Tagger along with his local accomplice Nissim, who was an Iraqi Jew. Moshe informed the Iraqi interrogators that he was civil servant at the local Jewish community center, whereas Yehuda Tagger continued to stick to his story that he was an Iranian despite the fact that he looked European and did not speak a word of Persian. When Yehuda Tagger was brought face to face with Assad, Tagger had to agree that he was not an Iranian but a captain in Israeli Defense Forces. Yehuda was taken to his apartment and he led the Iraqi authorities to secret documents. Nissim was subjected to third degree, but the authorities could not break him and therefore eventually released him, believing his story that he was merely helping Tagger to see places in Baghdad. Scores of Jews were detained and interrogated after Yehuda Tagger's revelations. Almost every Jewish group spoke of a secretive figure by the name of Zaki through whom they sent secrets obtained in Iraq to Israel. The Iraqis were now desperate to find out who was Zaki but they had no idea until a very smart Iraqi officer was able to make the connection. Mordechai Ben-Porat used Zaki as his cover name in intelligence circles in Iraq. He was born in Israel and was a member of Israeli Defense Forces. While he used Zaki as cover name for intelligence activities, people in Iraq knew him by another alias Nissim and claimed he was born in Iraq. He was none other than the same person who was initially caught along with Yehuda Tagger and then released by the Iraqi authorities. After his initial release when he was caught with Yehuda Tagger, Nissim aka Zaki was rearrested by the local Iraqi police for a traffic violation. They were not aware that he had been interrogated in the past on espionage charges. When Iraqi authorities came to Nissim's property to rearrest him on espionage charges, they could not find him, though they looked for him all over the country while he was under the custody of the local Iraqi police for a minor traffic offense. After serving 2 weeks in jail for the traffic violation, Nissim was being escorted by 2 Iraqi guards to headquarters so that he could be photographed and his fingerprints saved before he was to be set free. Moshe knew if that were to happen he would be caught, as his fingerprints and photograph had been previously taken when he was arrested on espionage charges. Moshe escaped while being taken to headquarters. The Iraqi guards did not even chase him as he was to be freed in a few hours. Nissim went to a friend's place and hid there. On June 12, 1951, Nissim had put some alcohol on his clothes and pretended as if he was not in his senses and directed his taxi driver to drop him near the airport. As soon as the taxi driver left him alone, Moshe went to the exact place where he knew the airport fence would be cut. He made way to an Israeli plane which was evacuating Jews who were fleeing Iraq in thousands those days. The pilot flashed the lights at the control tower, momentarily blinding the Iraqis, while Moshe climbed the running plane using a rope which was dangling off the plane. This was a Mossad operation to pull its agent out of a hostile country. Those Jews who were left behind and were convicted of espionage were not so lucky. Many of them were hanged. Yehuda Tager's capital punishment was commuted to a life sentence. In 1958, General Abdul Karim Qasim seized power in a military coup and killed the then Prime Minister and the royal family. 2 years after that, Mossad learned of a conspiracy by the general's close confidants of murdering him. Mossad struck a deal with the general and gave the names of the conspirators and secured Yehuda Tager's freedom. Please subscribe to my channel if you have liked the post. I will continue to post with latest happenings on Pakistan and strategic affairs.